the children, because we shouldn't even be in that occupation if we don't care about, right, raising good kids to be, whatever. It does start in the home, but if you see that, okay, this kid is lacking this, or maybe they have trouble past or something like that, as a teacher, we should be trying to help them to learn manners and be good stewardess. Otherwise, we're failing.
That's not a teacher's responsibility.
It isn't, but like that's part of the
Exactly.
job, because if not, your room is going to be chaotic. Like if you have
It
someone who's
starts
not
at home, and
respectful.
this is why teachers have so many problems. Because instead
It's
of
true.
trying to teach these kids, they're trying to parent these kids. These parents need to parent their own children.
True.
This
I
is
agree.
why we have kids disrespecting parents and all of that, because teachers want to be parents, and that's not your job. Your job is to there to teach them education. Their parents' job is to be parents and to guide them. You can't teach a child anything in school if they're not learning not nothing at home. If they're not learning any manners at home, there's no way you're going to be able to teach this child any manners in school. You get ready to have problems. You know what I'm saying? Because that child feels that you're disrespecting them. This ain't what my mama teach me, or this not what my daddy teach me. So who are you to tell me anything? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Now I can say that we need mentors in school. You need to go away with that tablet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We need
teachers
we
have to
need
be mentors,
we
and
need
we have to teach
mentors.
them.
That's a job. This is why teachers are asking for more money right now to this day, because the parenting sucks. They got a parent, they got a mentor, they got to try to teach these kids manners. They got to make sure their clothes is okay. They got to make sure they eat. That's not their job. It's the parent's job. Parenting. When God gives you a child, He puts that child in your life for you to teach and guide that child, not to send that child to school and for the parent to teach. What you doing while the parents is teaching your child?
Unfortunately, though, we have so many people that are having children that should not be parents,
Well, I
and there's
can't say that
nothing.
because God don't make no mistakes. But at the end of the day, they need to be parents. They need to be parents. So that means that that parent might need somebody to help guide them, to help them with that child. You know what I'm saying? I run a whole dance team. I have kids of all creeds and all colors. I have kids that come from poor families, rich families, everything. But my job is to teach dance. I do teach affirmations to those kids as well, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they do have to learn how to live in this world. But when they go to school, what teacher, this is why the teachers right now to this day are doing so many protests and talking about they want more money.
She's
They
breaking.
have so much to do. They have so much to do. And guess what? The parents sitting at home smoking weed, putting $600 weave in their hair at the nail shop, in the room with some nigga. You know what I'm saying? They not doing what they're
Is it me
supposed
or
to
she
be.
breaking up?
Hmm?
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So yes, it's a problem, but it's a problem with society. You know what I'm saying? Period. It's a problem with these parents. But now we have to go back, because a parent is a parent. Now, who taught that parent? Because some parents might not even know how to parent their own child. So we have
Well,
to
that's what
start
I
from the
that's what I was
bottom.
saying about some people
Well,
should not be
well,
parents, people that have kids and
there's
they
no
don't even
such
want their
thing as
kids to
people
have.
not to be parents. God don't make no mistake. When He give a
You said
person
there's
a
no such
baby,
thing as what?
as parents, as a person not supposed to be a parent. God don't make mistakes. When He give a child to someone, or
No,
any
no,
child that's being born is a blessing. You
no.
know what
You're
I'm
I
right
think
saying?
about
I
that, but
think
some
children
So
being
at
born
the
is a
end of the
blessing, but
day,
I disagree with
we're
you, and I
not to
do.
judge of who's supposed to have a kid and who's not. You know what I'm saying?
well,
The only thing we
There's
can
some
do is
Jada.
people
pray
that
for
should
that
not be
child.
parents. They're not mentally, they don't have the mental capacity, or maybe they're strung out on drugs, or there's a many reasons why someone is no longer able to be fit to do it. And so as a community, that's why we have to look and see, okay, why is this kid having issues? And if their parent is not in the home, or their parent doesn't have the mental capacity, back in the day, we used to send our kids to auntie house because mommy couldn't take care of them, or you live with grandma because the parents couldn't handle it. And I think we've went
It
away
ain't
from
that they
that, and we've
couldn't
left
handle
kids
it,
in
it's they
bad
don't
toxic
want to handle it.
situations.
It's no such thing as they can't handle it. The woman is the strongest species on the earth. It's not that they can't handle it, it's that they don't want to handle it. There's no such thing as can't. They don't want to. We're one of the strongest species on the earth. Our kings get
Guys,
to
do you think
guide
that
these
all people
queens.
should be parent or
You know what
capable
I'm
of being
saying?
parents?
Say what now?
No, I was asking the
No,
guys because
Say it
I'm
again.
different. I'm you know me, I'm triggering. I'm different. I'm like there's a lot of motherfuckers that fall in this in the loop, be on what begangle one night stands. All of a sudden the chick get pregnant, nigga like I don't want to have a child. And the female end up, keeping the child. Niggas not around, the female like niggas ain't shit and da 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 da,
no,
right?
what I'm
It's like it
saying is
goes
she
back to
said that
saying
all
that she
parents is
wasn't
good.
but it goes back to saying she fit to be a parent, period, or was she fit
Correct.
to do that? She might have been fit to open her legs, but a lot of women aren't taught how to be a mother or are taught how to be, you know what I mean, how to
Responsible.
understand that your responsibilities is now that child responsibilities,
But
Correct.
get
right?
but listen
And
to this. Why that come okay, now we going back. Because now that comes from their parent. You know what I mean? Because you have to be a mother has to be taught to love. First of all, a child has to be taught to love. So it all goes back. So that means that that woman's mom didn't teach her, because now here we go back again. What did the grandmother do? Did the grandmother teach that mother to teach her child to love her child? You know what I'm saying? So it all comes from teaching. We're teachers and we have failed to do that. We're
I'm
teachers.
gonna have to disagree with that. I do believe that kids come in knowing how to love. It's the way that you treat your kid that's gonna destroy that love. Now,
Correct.
not
All
all
kids don't.
people should have kids. And as messed up as it is, no, God does not make mistakes, but not everyone should have a kid. There's
All
too
kids
many
Amen.
don't
people
I
that
come
agree
need
here
to
with
get
you,
learning
their
how
kids
to
Gabby.
taken
love.
away. I'm sorry.
They
I
don't
agree with
come
you,
here
Gabby.
learning
Not
how to
all. I
love. You have
agree.
to teach your child to love.
No, no, no. We're just saying
No,
that
no,
all
no.
parents should not
I
be
want you to go.
parents. Like
No,
some
but
of
she's
people
saying
are
that
not fit.
that no, but she made a comment that, you have to teach your kid how to love. No, kids come into this world knowing how to love, knowing how to
That's not
provide you
true.
feelings.
That's not true. And I'm gonna give you a breakdown of how I know it's not true. I'm a victim of a child that was not taught love. So that's not true. That is not true. You teach them just like you were taught. You were taught how to bond with your mother. You have to know how to bond to even know how to love. Kids
Yeah,
don't come here just knowing how to love. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Um,
They don't come here like that.
all of the loving that you show them and that you give to them, they receptive to that. So basically,
Exactly.
by you showing them, they're learning, they're soaking that in. They like sponges. So I'm gonna have to agree with her on that because, like, you can't, like, okay, let's talk about like the kids. I've seen a lot of infants like that come here that's on drugs. They parents was doing drugs, so they was, you feel me, like they was doped out as babies, and they like them child's not growing up knowing to love and how to love, and you get what I'm saying. You got to
And do
teach
you think
that.
that parent is fit or an
Huh?
unfit? And do you think that parent is fit or unfit to be a parent?
It depends
It
because
doesn't.
drug is a disease. That's a
Are
disease.
they fit or unfit, Tone?
Listen, it's not, to me, it's not about being fit or unfit. You feel me? Like, yes, I agree that, you feel me, that's a gift from God. God don't do not make mistakes. I agree with that. That's 100. He don't make mistakes. About them being fit, that's just that's totally up to them. And like, but that's the thing. Like, that determines how that child is going to turn out.
You
You get
didn't
what I'm
answer the
saying?
question. If a person is strung out on drugs, are they fit to be a parent?
No, I don't believe that they
You have
fit. But
functional,
like I
you have
said,
Okay.
functional drug
Okay, so we're on the same
people.
page. I'm
People,
just
some
that's what I'm
people
trying
are
to say is like
functional.
everybody who's parents, some of these people should not be parents. Maybe not right now, maybe in 20 years if they change their life, but that's what's failing our kids. And so now you have these kids coming to school where their parents, they ain't seen their parents in 3 days because their parents are up there smoking the TV and doing all
What
this other
about the
stuff.
one? What about the ones that are not on drugs? What excuse do we have for them?
Some of those people have mental problems.
What if
Mental
they don't
health
have
is a
mental
big
problems?
deal.
Everybody doesn't have a mental problem. Some
True.
people just don't want to do it.
And that's true. Some people are lazy and they don't want to do the job, but we have to figure out which road or which lane are these kids in, because we can't put everybody in the same boat. Some people literally have mental challenges. Some people are lazy, they don't want to do it, and they're selfish parents. They're buying the stuff for themselves, doing for themselves, and they're not taking care of their kids. And then some people should have never had kids because they didn't want the kid in the first place. And that's where we have to say, as a community, we need to help these children because we don't know what's going on in their home. If a kid's got problems and acting out under the age 18, there's a reason why.
And
They
you'll
didn't just
probably never figure out the reason why. So figuring out and moving on that on your own accord with that child is two different things. You'll probably never figure it out. You know what I'm saying? A child. Let me tell you something. A child that has grown up in a drug abuse home, a mom with mental disabilities. Some don't have mental disabilities. That child is already isolated. You can. There's no way that you're gonna get into this child's head to the point where you're gonna figure out what's wrong with that child. Guess why? Because the child is already isolated. That
hmm,
child is already
I
isolated.
disagree. I disagree. I think all kids can be rehabilitated and if they get into the right environment. We've seen it done so many times. When kids are removed from bad environments and put in a good environment, they thrive.
Yeah,
Most
but
of
they
our
don't.
athletes that
And
we
you're
praise right
right.
now, they were in bad environments and they got adopted or put into other homes, and then they thrived and they succeeded because they were removed from a bad environment and put into a loving environment.
But it does
So
never go away. It never goes away. It
maybe not,
never
but
goes away. You can do you. It never goes away. It never goes away. It's always there. It's always a thought. It's always an anxiety behind that. It never goes away. You, I know you've heard the saying, "I smile on the outside, but I'm hurting on the inside." I'm doing this for you. That's what happens with a lot of these kids.
hmm,
That's what happens with a lot of these kids. It doesn't go away just because they're put in a good environment. Yes, they succeed. They do this. They graduate from high school. They graduate from college. They become good families, or however the case may be. It doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. That's not something that you can erase. It's there. It's stuck there. It
hmm,
does
So
not
um,
erase.
there's a movie. I'm gonna go to the next video. There's a movie that was on, I believe, Prime with Tiana Taylor, where she's a mother. She's a mother in this film, and she's taking care of this kid. Come to find out, the kid wasn't hers, but she
hmm,
raised this kid up all the way until he was like 17 and a half. Smart kid, getting ready to go to college, and couldn't go to college or any of that because it wasn't his identity, right? She had a whole new identity on him. But the whole point is like, whether we may think a person is fit or not, sometimes the child would see, like, to me, I was confused of how this child still had love for her when, but it was kind of like that's all he knew, right? And it's kind of like when you raise a child, you know in a way, they kind of only know that they're kind of boxed in. They spend so much of their prime growth years in this state of being that it's may take a lot of time to really get that kid, rehabilitate, what I mean, back to society or to his mom or to his parents. He's been running, in the story, he was running around the shelter since he was 2 years old, and
Damn.
that's how she found him. You know what I mean? And the story is a crazy story, but it just kind of shows you the mental state of what we could put on the child. You know what I mean? Just the mental state that we may not know what we're doing. And I've taught in a couple other schools teaching kids music theory and drums. And a lot of times, us as teachers, like it takes a community, honestly.
hmm.
It takes a
That's what I
community to
said.
raise a child. People say no, but it does take a village. Because if I can go out and I see Mr. Ron running a business, and then I see Miss Martha running a business, and then I see this person, automatically in my head, I'm gonna think that that's the going thing, right? Because it's all around me. You are what you're around. You're a product
Mhm.
of what you're around. So I mean, we can still continue to diverse on that. This is a video of when parenting becomes too raw in a way.
My sister got kicked out of school and signed up for a GED. This is my mom's reaction.
Up to go to night school for a GED. Oh my God, my mom is gonna have a heart attack. She didn't want me to go to night school. Okay. Because of her daddy, y'all. Come on, let's go back up here. That's not, because your dad talking about, because you trying to get out of taking tests and talking about because you got 9 classes to take, you going to take them.
We need
you
our own show.
Take them. Same thing. I don't care, you're not doing no GED. You going to get a fucking diploma. That is a diploma. What I say?
So mom was upset that she wanted to get a GED instead of just walking the stage getting a high school diploma. And it comes to show me that maybe we should expect more out of our kids. Maybe we should expect exceptionalism. Exceptionalism should be a thing that we expect out of our kids. No basic, go far beyond. You know what I mean? If the test wants you to do 120, you need to do 150. Right? And those are the things that I don't think we have a lot of. We don't preach that. You see other races do it with their kids, but for some reason we're the ones that's on the bottom of the scale.
I saw something totally different in that video that maybe you guys, that didn't bother you guys. In that video, what bothered me the most is the language that the mom was using towards her daughter. That's one of my pet peeves is when I go to like Walmart, especially, and I'm going down the aisle with, my groceries and I'm in my own world and I hear
your daughter
a black mother cussing their kid out in Walmart. And then they wonder why their kids are cussing people out that they deal with or saying dirty things when they're not around. It's because their parent is talking to them that way. So they're teaching them that profanity is okay. And they're teaching them that talking and using that kind of language is okay. To me, I just don't understand that part. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to say something to that because
that's listen.
What, Tone?
Hold on. I was just gonna say my mom she hardly used profanity when I was a kid, and I ain't gonna lie, like, and Biz could attest to it. You feel me? I was hell. I was hell like a motherfucker. I cuss a motherfucker out. You feel me? I used to talk crazy, like way worse than I do. Like now, I got a lot of integrity about myself. I'm very respectful and things like that. But it was a point in time where I was a child. They say when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I, moved as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. But it's not always the parent and how the parent talking to them, because my mom didn't talk to me that way.
It's in the world. It's in the world. That's the way the world is.
No, that's not the way, guys.
They're gonna learn regardless.
We're accepting mediocrity. Like, right? If you want your child to be educated, shouldn't we be educated? If you want your child to use good language and be well-mannered and all that, shouldn't we be well-mannered and we use the right language? Like, it shows your educational level on many levels. When you go into a professional meeting or professional whatever, someone who's using a whole bunch of profanity just means that their level of vocabulary is very small. And that's something in our culture we have to change. It should not be cute or sexy or cool for a mother who's supposed to be a woman of God or a valuable woman or a virtuous woman to be using that kind of language to her child that she's raising up to be in this world, to be a good man or husband to someone someday, or to be a good wife to someone someday, because that's not what a husband or wife wants to bring home to their parent, right? So if we want to talk about parenting, we have to start with ourselves and say, look, are we training our child in the way that we think that they should go?
Uncle who?
And that's what I was getting at. Like, you got parents that are training that way, but we still choose our own paths. At the end of the day, like I said, my mom was totally against that. Biz can attest to that. Like, they would call my mom, they would think my mom was like the goody goody, like she was the church, super churchy, because my mom didn't cuss like that. She didn't like, she wanted us like to be just super exceptional, and she was on it. Trust and believe me. But we chose our own paths. We went our own way. You get what I'm saying? I,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
a choice you
I
made,
learned.
but at least your
Listen, listen,
parenting
listen,
was
listen,
good. At
listen.
least you can say your mom parented
Right,
you
but listen,
in an
but listen.
honorable
This
way.
is what I'm getting at, though. You know what taught me to be the way I was and speak the way I was? And that's from hanging out with the homies in the hood, my environment where I came from. You get what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
environment raised me. The streets kind of raised me in a way. You get what I'm saying? Because I was I grew an interest in that, and that looked it cool. So I was I just took after that type of crap. But now I know, as a man, I know, like, nah, dude, that ain't that. You feel me? So I hold myself to a different standard, and I move in a different manner.
And I hope that the lesson learned is that we see that we're influencing another person's child every day, every time we walk to a store, every time we're at a baseball game, every time we're at any type of anything. If there's kids around, we are an example to what they're supposed to be. All of us, we're supposed to be a village.
Mhm.
And if we're
And
raising
Miss Cat,
children and they're seeing that we're out of control, how do we expect them to get in control? It starts with us.
um, Miss Gabby, you got some that you want to speak on this? You got some new ones, Miss Gabby? Yeah.
Go ahead and play the next video.
My sister got kicked.
No, I was just taking the video down.
Oh, I think it's
Our
The
3
next.
years old children right
You think
our
it's
3 years old children right
I'm sorry. I'm
Hold on,
sorry.
now play that video. Hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I wasn't trying to play that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize for that.
I think it's
Go
just
ahead.
tricky with a lot of people, how everyone is being raised nowadays, and they're being raised by TikTok. They're being raised by Instagram and not the parents. And the parents are pretty much, instead of having a communication with their kids, they're communicating only by text message. Like, I've seen that with so many parents now, that instead of them saying, "Hey, you know what? Let me go get so and so," they just send them a text, "Hey, go bring me this."
Yeah, social media is raising our children.
Yeah.
Social media is
Wow.
raising our children. TV
Wow.
is raising our children. That and like I said, my kids are grown. All of 35 years old, grown. My oldest, and they couldn't watch TV like that. They would maybe do hour and a half to 2 hours of TV. That was it. I sent my kids outside to play. My kids didn't sit up on video games or computers or tablets or none of that. I didn't play none of that. This is like, now I'm a grandmother of 13. I have a 4-year-old running around here right now. I make her put the tablet down. You know what I'm saying? So it's parenting.
Mhm.
It's the parenting. You have to parent. You know what I'm saying? We have to guide these kids. You know what I'm saying? We can't depend on nobody in the streets or the teacher or the neighbor or none of that to raise our kids. It starts in the home. It starts right inside the home. And yes, social media is raising these children, because guess what? The parents don't want to be bothered. So they sit them in front of the TV.
Oh, she's
They go
breaking
buy
up bad.
tablets. You know what I'm saying? Oh, these video games got them going crazy.
Oh yeah, she's breaking up
Christmas time.
bad.
Christmas time. Here we go. Here go the new Xbox. Oh,
Hello.
I got to get this for my
Oh,
kids.
she's breaking up bad. Is it me?
Yes, you.
yeah,
Biz, I
because I
think
can
that
hear.
you, because
Oh,
I can
whoa.
hear her fine.
I mean,
Hello.
I think that it's not social media's fault, it's the parents' fault because they should be spending time with their children. I think most, and I can only speak for Black parents because I don't know what other race parents are doing, but I see a trend where, people come home and they let their kids like watch TV or talk on the phone with their friends or do whatever until it's almost time for them to go to bed. And I'm wondering, like, why is there not like family time? They shouldn't even be allowed to watch TV during the weekday. there's not just enough time. By the time they get home from school, do their homework, eat, then family time, it's time for bed. Why are they even watching TV or on social media at all during the weekday? Those are things that, you have to build and set up for your life and for your kid's life. And if you don't, you're going to have a kid that's going around saying and doing stuff that you had no idea that they're saying and doing because they're exposed to too much stuff. So again, it's the adults. That's the problem, not the kids.
This is for the ones who said we would make it. This is for the ones who said we would take it. Never let you down, you the real reason. This $1 billion smile never came easy. This might be the one, couple label deals.